Hello everybody, this is part 2. The card ran out, that's why it's part 2. Now I was on this picture here showing that Australia was drawn as part of Antarctica in the past. They're both Terra-Australis-Incogniti, they both got the same name in the past, that's why they were drawn together. Now, I'm actually going to prove to you right now that Australia was in fact mapped a long time ago. We're talking over 1,000 years ago. I've proven that in the last video. It was mapped over 1,000 years ago. I'll prove it in this video. Here we have something very interesting happen. We have 3 Terra-Australis-Incognitas. I'm not sure why there are 3 here. It should be just 2, Australia and Antarctica. Australis being the old name for Antarctica. Perhaps that's Antarctica there, where it's obviously almost joining up to South America. But here we have something completely different. And some people on the internet have seized on this and said, wow, this shows Antarctica when it was a continent before the ice. No. Sorry guys. It goes far back, but not that far back. This could be a map of Australia. It's been circumnavigated. Look, Western Australia, Arnhem Land, Darwin would be there. This is Cape York. They've actually written New Zealand here because they've tried to draw New Zealand into it. But that's Cape York. This looks very much like the east coast of Australia. Sydney would be about there. Melbourne would be about there. This is the surf coast of Victoria. This is the Great Australian Bight. Adelaide would be here. Perth would be about there. That looks just like it. This looks just like Australia. Although it's a bit dodgy. And while we've already got that map, the Dutch have come along and they've mapped this part and a bit of Tasmania, and they've called it Van Diemen's Land, and that's Van Diemen's Land, Tassie, and they've called this New Holland, and they've given their own names here, which have all disappeared. Where this has been done in 1700, this map. It's called the Bauchi map. So since it was written up in 1700, it was based on earlier maps. Who knows where they got these maps from? While we're waiting, we're going to wait until 1788 for the east coast to be mapped. Now, because the English didn't know how far this goes, whether it joins up into Antarctica, they called this part Australia, Australis. So this part was Australis, this part of Australia, this part was New Holland. So while we're waiting, we're going to have to wait another 88 years for this to be mapped. And while we're waiting, someone has already mapped Australia in ancient times. And there it is. It's been plonked right there next to Antarctica. How about that? Same thing. Now, I've already proven that with the Arab al-MASUDI map that it goes all the way back to 900 AD to the Dark Ages, basically. That's when Australia was mapped. But look at this. Here we have something very interesting, and there's a couple explanations. When I was small, I saw this map and I thought, how do they know what Australia looked like? And I saw a different map. It's actually joined up to Tasmania. I was thinking, how do they know what Australia looked like in the Ice Age? When the oceans were, it seems, lower. What's going on? Look, it's joined up to New Guinea. This is actually an ancient continent. It's called Sahul. There was another ancient continent here called Sundaland. This is where the pyramid builders come from. This was Sahul, and they've drawn it exactly as it would be 10,000 BC, or earlier than 10,000 BC, more like 14,000 BC. That's how they've drawn it, as it was. Now there is an explanation around this. Between the Gulf of Carpentaria and New Guinea there's a narrow strait, and they may not have known about that, so they joined it up. Here they didn't explore there, so they joined it up to Tassie. Yeah, that's a pretty good. I'm satisfied with that explanation, but the possibility still exists that this is somehow a map of Sahul. I want to show you what I mean right now. This is the Ice Age. The red is where the coasts were. So that's Sahul, Sundaland. Maybe this is Yonganui land where that underwater relic is in Japan. The Black Sea was a lake, a freshwater lake which flooded, and some people have written a book called Noah's Flood saying that's what it was. Adriatic Sea was land. All around Britain was land, and guess what? This is the land outside the Pillars of Hercules. Look, this was land. This is the thing that flooded, giving rise possibly to the Atlantis legend. Possibly, who knows. Could have been Sardinia as well. Could have been anywhere around here. That was land into the Mediterranean. There was lots of land here inside the Aegean as well. That was land. Everywhere. Persian Gulf, land. Again, Australia joined up to Antarctica because they both got the same name. Terra-Australis-Incognita. Terra, land. Australis, south. Incognita, unknown. And again, this map, I'm not sure how old it is. Look, they've called Australia Brazil. That's Australia there. That's Africa. Brazil is a mythical land, so they're confusing it with America. But there's America, as you see. Again, another old map of Australia. Even before it was called New Holland, they call it Terra Australis. Even before the Dutch got here, it seems. This could be maybe Portuguese, who knows. So again, I'm showing, you know, it's really old. We've known about this for a long time, perhaps thousands of years. And finishing up on this, the smoking gun, this is Al-Masudi's map again, showing, and it's upside down, France, Spain, that's Africa, the Mediterranean, and underneath the bottom of Africa, think of that as the bottom of Africa, that's what's depicted, they've put Antarctica, but they don't know where Antarctica starts, where Australia stops, so they've joined it all up, and that's the north coast of Australia right there. That's pretty clear. That's really clear. Sydney would be about there, Perth would be around there, Darwin would be there. The unknown, he's even called it Incognita. Look at that. He's talking about the Southland. He's not talking about America. Some people have said that must be America. No, that's Australia. Mapped 900 AD. Look at that. We've known about it for a very long time. Who knows how long. Thanks for watching, guys.